Nice. I was muted that whole time. Thank you so much for telling me. I have such a bad habit doing that, and which would be wild because I was a teacher for 4 years, and basically 2 of those years I was online from the pandemic, and I still cannot unmute myself. As I was saying, my name's Ashley. I work for NVIDIA. I do a twice weekly 1-hour stream on Monday and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I explore parts of Omniverse that I'm not familiar with. I invite the community to help me out along the way, whether you don't know it either and you can just give me advice and help me not break things or help me break things, or you're familiar with it and can give me some tools to help me with what I'm doing. The past few streams, I have been building this conveyor belt warehouse game thingy. I was exploring parts of game development, and I was originally playing with the Unreal connector. I got that working. I've abandoned it kind of for now because I wanted to build this conveyor belt, and Isaac Sim is the best way to do that. I might go back to Unreal Engine later on and get things working using blueprints, but for now I've kind of just like stuck with ActionGraph, and that is an OmniGraph visual scripting component to Omniverse. It works in Isaac Sim, it works in Code, it works in Create. So that's where I've been at. I'll just do like a really quick recap, and yeah, here we go. So to make this conveyor belt, the way I started is I have to go into the window extensions, and you have to type in conveyor. And I'm using the production version of Isaac Sim, so y'all have this too if you want to check it out. And you have to enable this extension. It will not be enabled by default. And I always set it to autoload just because that's my primary use for Isaac Sim. So every time I open Isaac Sim, it's there. And then once you enable it, to get the conveyor track builder, if you don't want to make your own conveyor belts and you want to use these NVIDIA assets, like all this stuff, then you have to go into Tools and go to Conveyor Track Builder, which will bring up this UI, and then you have all of these different tracks you can start with. They have rolling tracks, the belt track, different levels of ramps, and you can adjust their height. And I've created like this. Let's see if I can get a good view of it. So here's my start, and it like goes around this all the way and ends here. So once I've done that, I started creating camera constraints using ActionGraph so that when you are viewing someone, it's in a third person. And I did create a camera to follow the cube. So when I press play, it will follow the cube around, but it does it in a really simple way. It does it using a 3D point constraint. So let me show you what I mean. I like using a very specific layout when I am visual scripting. So I have my layout saved. And let's open up my first action graph. The conveyor belt uses action graph too, but I don't have names for mine. So I think my first one is this one. Okay, so that cube camera is using just a constant point. So it's following, it's reading the translation of the cube, the camera is, and it's adding that translation with the constant point. So it'll always be at a -9 in the X value. And then it's going to add that to the translation of the camera. Now, this is the on-tick execution. This is an action graph, and there are different types of graph. There's like push graph and action graph. Push graph happens as soon as you press play. If you do an action graph, you have to tell it when to happen. There's different events you can do. And for that one, I had on tick. So that's when it knows it's going to be working. And this is actually the third person capsule camera. This is not like so this one's disconnected, so it doesn't work. And that's because I created a different camera, but I think this is the cube camera. There you go. Yeah, so that's why the cube camera is working, because it is on tick. I did the same thing to follow the capsule, which was like my little character who's going to be my little worker in my factory. And I didn't like that if you move the capsule around, let's go, that it didn't follow. It just followed at a constant point. It didn't like rotate around like a proper third person. I was watching Dave Tyner's live sync where he invites various Omniverse ambassadors to come and help him create a scene live together in sessions. And I really liked the constant constraint he had for his. So I asked if he would give me that project. And there was an Omniverse ambassador named Alberto that created an action graph that was a really interesting camera constraint. So last stream on Wednesday last week, that's what I created. And it was kind of, we had to do like the rubber ducky method where I had to like explain things out loud in order to figure out what I messed up. But I think I got it working, and I'm going to combine my constant point with that action graph so that the camera is always looking at the capsule, and as the capsule moves around, the camera will not like fly away, because I was having that issue before. And then also on the agenda today is to create Viewport UI using ActionGraph. And I have explained where that is in the samples. So if we go back to the regular layout, which I think I have saved as like a basic layout, there are these samples where you can go into visual scripting, and there are 4 different visual scripting examples. The light bulb one has that Viewport UI that I'm going to try to recreate today, where you see it before you press play. It tells you what to do. It's right here in the viewport. And then there are Viewport UI widgets that allow you to manipulate the light bulb and the light toggle. You can also do it just by like clicking on the asset, but I like these little widgets. I think they're cool. So we'll try to create both the UI in the viewport and some widgets to help us keep track of our player grabbing boxes off the conveyor belt. So that's what the agenda is today, hopefully before the next 45 minutes. How difficult would it be to build a virtual collaboration web app using Omniverse? Great question. It really depends on how complex it is and your programming knowledge. So that's a hard question to answer, but a good one. All right, let's go back to my scene. All right, let's do my visual scripting layout that I really like. Open up the action graph for the more advanced camera constraint that Alberto made. So this is what we did last stream. And it's supposed to, so if I press play and then I move the X form that the capsule is a child of, let's press F and look at it first. So that's the problem. It's like not always looking at the capsule. And then I also had this issue where, so if I move, see if I like move it, like flies all over the place. And then my capsule like also flies kind of all over the place. I want to fix that. Also, now my X form is like so weird. I don't know why it does that. I have to fix that. But first, let's add a constraint to it so my camera's always looking at it. And let's focus on it again. Ooh. Let's switch to just like regular camera and fix this. Okay, so I'm gonna add the constant point to the rotation and the translation. I want to do it to the translation or the rotation. Well, let's just try it. Okay, so what I mean is I want to add, so I'm going to press tab for a quick search and I'm going to type in add. I want this one and I'm going to be adding this output. So right click disconnect and add it there. And then I'm going to be adding the constant point 3D. There it is. And then that will add there. And then that will be the value. So I'm kind of like combining the first action graph I made with this more complex one that Alberto made. And if I go into my third-person camera view, it's a little rotated. Why is that? This is, should not be rotated. That's being adjusted by this action graph, I think. Let's try to fix why it looks so weird. It also like goes upside down when you press play, and that's why there's two X forms. This one's supposed to be the invert for it. I did not name things properly. Oops, that's the X form. See how it's upside down? So I have to do, nope, not that one. The invert. Back how I had it. Maybe the camera's rotated. Oh, now I'm upside down again. Okay, that's strange. I don't know why. This supposed to be like rotated 180 degrees on the X since my Z is up, but I guess I don't need to do that. I need to do it last time. Not sure. Okay, so let's when we press play, we want this third person camera to always be looking at the capsule. So let's set it, let's just adjust these values to the view that we like. A little bit closer. Okay, so it should stay there as we move. Oh, my X form's messed up. Go into pivot and center it again. So now when I move, oopsies, it's all messed up. It like goes off screen. It's trying, but something's wrong. And this is kind of what I ran into a little bit last time. Does it follow if I change the rotation of it? No. Is OmniGraph a programming using graphs? Well, it's like the graph is like the visual part of it, and it's a scripting language. I think it uses C++ mostly, but there's a roadmap for it to be able to create nodes using Python. Think of it like Unreal Engine blueprints, where they use C++ to create a visual scripting language. Okay, so it like sort of works. I think there's going to be a lot more we have to adjust. I think it might be this constant point that's messing with it. Oops. Let's try moving it again. What's the difference between ActionGraph and OmniGraph? Are they the same? They are the same. OmniGraph explains all of the different visual scripting languages like animation graph and push graph and action graph. So when you say OmniGraph, you're kind of like talking about all of it, or if you hear someone say that, they are just referring to the visual scripting language in Omniverse. And then if you say ActionGraph, you're specifically referencing ActionGraph where you have to set an event. Some people will kind of use them interchangeably because it is a little confusing. I think I was confused by it when I first started learning it too. This is so wonky. I don't want to spend forever on this though. All right. There might be something I have to like, oh, it's kind of working. Let's put this back where it belongs. It didn't follow it. We'll come back to this. This seems more complicated than I think I'm ready for. So let's go into, let's create a new graph. This one we're just gonna do the UI and we'll come back to this third-person camera constraint because it's like kind of working, but I think I need to do some debugging to it. And I don't want to take up a whole stream doing that. So let's right click, create. See, there's like 3 different graphs. Oh, cool. Someone added the quick start for me. Yeah, the tutorials are really good. That's how I learned that's how I learned the constant point, was using those NVIDIA Omniverse quick starts. And then everything else, I just open those samples and try to read them. There's a lot of math involved sometimes. All right, what was I doing? So if you look in the visual scripting, there's the action graph, push graph, and lazy graph. I've never used a lazy graph. I think it starts on like an offset, but I'm not 100% sure when to use it. I use ActionGraph for a lot of stuff so I can control when it starts. So I'm gonna create another ActionGraph. And of course, best practice would be to label them. So if anyone comes in and was to look at your layer, they know what these ActionGraphs are doing. So we should probably start doing that. This one is going to be Viewport UI. We gotta open that one again. ActionGraph is a subset of OmniGraph. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're gonna let's go look at that sample. Let's save this. Let's go see how they did it in the sample. So load that layout. And it's in samples, go to light bulb. And if we right click on that, click open graph. And this one is labeled nicely. So they have like these backdrops and they've explained what it does in each of the backdrop, which is really cool. I love when people who created an action graph do that. So like I know what each graph is doing. So like here's like the light switch, the color switch, the actual light itself with a custom variable called light on, which is a bool. And here is the info text that we see before we even press start on the viewport. And they use this node called draw screen space text. And then the text is here. And And it looks like you can define the background color, its screen position, and the text color. So that's really cool. There's some customization to it. So draw screen space text. That's what we're going to be using. And then for these widgets, let's see what they did. So when you press play and you have these widgets that pop up, this is the UI creation. So on stage event, which is OmniGraph start play, there's different events you could set. They use set viewport mode, which is scripted, a placer, parent widget path, a stack. I'm imagining this works like the Python where you have to use like UI.zstack, UI.hstack, or vstack, and then this is like a UI.placer when you're creating widgets in like an extension, and then this is like a UI.button. Cool. Okay, let's go back to my project. It was like draw screen space text. That's the first one we want to use. This one, and we named it properly this time. And it was called Viewport UI. And we're going to have this happen on tick. And then it's tab for quick search, draw screen space text. Plug that in. I imagine I should see this in real time. But like maybe we'll just like do press play for now. Screen position %. Text position on the viewport as a percentage of the viewport size. Okay. Maybe we'll set it to like 100 and then just like adjust it down. I'm gonna change my viewport to fill viewport. Oops. Size. Where do we see it? Oh, maybe I have to adjust the width. Maybe filling the viewport was not a good idea. I don't see it anywhere. Maybe if I make it giant. Max width, huge. No. Okay. I didn't check these. I don't remember what they were in the sample. Size. Also big numbers. And I don't see anything. Where are you? Let's save that again and go back to the sample and like look at what it did. Okay. This one, it's on tick. Yep. Max width is 0. It's at 1490. And it is 24 points. Is that in points? It's in a float. 14x 90y, but their y is up. So mine might be flipped. And their max width is 0. 24, 1490. Go back to mine. Maybe it's because their Y is up. So like my Z is up and I cannot adjust my screen position. So it's like that would suck. Let's just mimic theirs real quick. So I have everything the same. What if we try setting that to 0 and setting this to 90? Can't adjust my Z though. Display color, node position. It doesn't give me the option to adjust like how high it is on the viewport. So my theory is that it's like off the viewport somehow. I would hate to have to change the up of this because I feel like that would mess up everything. Would it? Should Y be the default for most of our Omni projects? Which platforms default to Z up? Unreal, Unity? That's a really good question, Zia. I think Omniverse usually defaults to Y up, and most other platforms, let's double check this so I'm not spewing wrong information. So I get them mixed up all the time. I can open Maya real quick. Maya opens faster than Unreal Engine. And we'll look at that and see what that is. And then Omniverse is like the opposite. Oh, I gotta log in. Oh goodness. Oops. CAD is Z up. Also, Unreal is Z up. Okay, so that means Omniverse is Y up by default, because I know it's the opposite of most other applications. Why, I'm not sure. I just know it is. And so my scene got put into Z up because I was connecting back and forth between Unreal Engine and Omniverse, and so it was using Unreal default settings. So that's how mine ended up being Z up. So I'm wondering if I have to change this to Y up. You know, we could do a quick test. So let's go into content. Let's go back into my Unreal project folder. Let's go into this new file I had created and didn't do anything in. And see this is Y up, so that's defaulted. And now let's create an action graph here. And this, let's do on tick. And let's do that screen space, draw screen space text, plug it in, copy the same settings they had on the sample, and we'll do press play. And it's still not showing up. Why? What if we flip these? Nope. Did I press play? Does it show up then? Oh, there it is. How do I get it to show up? Oh, look, it stopped. Okay, maybe I have to press play once. Okay, let's go back to mine then. I'm gonna save this because I like that example. Houdini and Lightwave are also Y up. And Cinema is Y up. So I wonder why different applications do that. I'm sure there's a very good reason why they either do Y or Z up. I know Maya is Z up. ZBrush is Z up. What else is Z up? Substance? Okay. So if I press play. There it is. Whoa. Whoa. Jeez. Yikes. That it works. It's just ugly. Let's open this graph. So in order to get this to work and then stay on the screen is I have to press play, which would make sense because this is on tick and it happens on play, but I'm gonna unclick this, so only simulate on play, so that if I am to create another one of these, it shows up automatically. That was the problem. Let's disconnect this one for now and fix this. Woo. It made 2 of them. So cool, I can on the screen adjust it where I want it to be, but oh, this makes the viewport size? That's weird. If I make this giant, it wants to fit the viewport, so then it adjusts the fill of the viewport. That's cool. But also why? Oh, because I have the width. That's probably why. So the width should be 0, and if I adjust the width, then it starts messing with the way it's positioned. That's cool. What did I break today? I don't know. I think I've broken the camera constraint ActionGraph that Alberto made. I'm just doing something wrong, but I've kind of broken, I almost broke this, but it was just, I had to unclick only simulate on play. So that's good to know. All right, let's go back to this. I want it to be at the bottom. Isn't that weird? It's adjusting. It's not taking into account that in this scene, Z is up. It's still using Y as up. That's very interesting, but it works. Oh, by the way, I've been talking about this a little bit just for fun. I've been playing that Hogwarts Legacy game. And that game, I put 20 hours into this game so far, and I've been playing it for, I guess, like a week now. Amazing game. I still recommend it. So, again, not being paid for it, just want to talk about it because I love it so much. My witch is so cool. She got pink hair. She has like this huge scar on her face, and so I have this like backstory on her that she, you know, got this scar and it turned her hair pink, and now she can like see ancient magic, so it plays into like the game story. That's how I'm thinking about it. I hope that, like, you know how like Red Dead Redemption started off without an online component, and then like Red Dead Redemption 2 like later on had the online stuff. I hope that they do that for Hogwarts Legacy. I would love to be able to play that online. All right, let's create another. This one will be just like instructions. I'll come back to it. And we'll put this one, over here on the other side. I want it to be at the same 84. 84.1. Maya can switch between Y and Z. If you go and do all of that stuff that Zia said, you can change it. Yeah, and then there's the Maya connector for Omniverse, and you can adjust the way it exports, I'm pretty sure, for Maya. You can also for Unreal and for Substance Painter. I haven't played with the Houdini connector, I cannot say. Instructions. Okay, let's create a widget. We got 20 minutes. Widget. So if I type in widget, I get like the UI button, placer, oh, a combo box. Set the value of a widget's property, the height, tooltip, etc. Widget value change. It's an event node which fires when a UI widget with the specified identifier has its value changed. Should be used in combination with UI creation nodes such as OGN slider. Oh, I can do a slider? Cool. Let's do... How did they have theirs before? It was like... We should probably do... We'll keep this on the same action graph. Let's make it all fancy. Set these up properly. So, backdrop. Here's my backdrop. So that I can have an action graph that's like nicely organized like the samples. Because once this is all done and stuff, I will probably release this to GitHub or wherever I'm allowed to. And then, so people have like a sample on how they can create a whole scene. And the description of this is the instruction UI. That's what we'll call it for now. We can come back and change it. Instruction UI. Okay, so now we'll do the on stage event. And this is when OmniGraph is start play. And then what was it like? Was it the widget value change? On widget value change. Was it that one? Or was it like read widget property? No. Set a widget style properties. This should be used in combination with a node, like a button. No, I don't think it was that. I don't remember what it was. Is Learn With Me a new series? Actually, good point. So I've been doing this Learn With Me series since October of last year, but I was doing it on my own channels for a while. And I work for NVIDIA. Now we have just started moving all the Omniverse with me stuff. Like, so my stream, Eric Bowman's stream where he does stuff for the ECO, is it? It's like industrial CAD things. Sorry, Eric, I don't know how to describe it properly. His is also moving from his personal channels to the official one. And then there are Maddie's Omniverse with me and developer office hours, which will be moving also to here. And Dave Tyner's live streams, which I think he's taking a little bit of a break on until GTC. But here is the... Whoever's moderating for me, I already got it. Nice, thank you. So that is the add event. And then you can add all of those. It's like if you click add to calendar, it just adds all of those events to your calendar. So you never miss one, either mine or Eric's or Maddie's. And then the Wednesday live streams with Edmar and Wendy. I'm on them sometimes, other ones. Dave's when he comes back. Placer? I can't remember the way the sample had it. I don't remember if it was like on stage event and then like it goes into placer. I mean, it works, so... And then they had a stack, which I'm assuming adds it... Not to move to target, stack. Sometimes these quick searches kind of like... They're not the best. So if I type in stack, like it doesn't bring up stack automatically. It's like all the way at the bottom. So I just got to be careful what I'm clicking on. I'm going to show that one. So yeah, the add event calendar. I have it to my own calendar too, so I can make sure, because I wasn't watching Dave's for a while, and then I was like, wait, I'm missing out on like a lot of cool stuff. And then I watched it and I learned about the camera constraints. So, and it's cool to be able to see the way he organizes like all his layers. Dave is so good about setting up his layers so that he doesn't have a destructive workflow. So like all the cameras are on one layer, all the assets are on another, all the lights are on another. So everyone can work in the different layers and not be able and not mess with each other's things. And so when they save it or if they need to remove it, it doesn't affect the overall scene. It's a really cool way to work. And it's how most people should be setting up their scene, so that if they're collaborating, someone could come in and be able to adjust these different layers. I'm like doing this all haphazardly, so mine is not the best. Okay, so I have a placer. I don't know what to put for this path. I'm not sure. I have the documentation up. At least I think I do. ActionGraph. Where's my node? The different nodes. OmniGraph documentation. The OmniGraph interface. Here we go. The library of OmniGraph node descriptions. And so if I type in placer, oops, that's not how you type placer. Placer. Construct a placer widget. The placer takes a single child and places it at a given position within it. Yes. But what do I put for the path? The absolute path to the parent widget. Is it like that would be like the stage path? Like in here? I'm gonna leave it blank for now. And then this is the stack. Oh, you can change the different stacks. So you can change it from a Z to a H to a V, and you can change the way that if it's right to left, left to right. That's cool. I like that one. So let's do top to bottom, and then we'll just do a button. I don't know what I want the button to do for now. I just want to see if I can like create this, and we can adjust it later. I imagine that, you know, this capsule character is going to be collecting the boxes. And so if it like, say it like grabs the box, like whatever, you press spacebar or something, and it grabs the box, and then like once you put the box, you like collect the box into a bin, this action graph will be able to read how many boxes are collected in the bin and then display that on the viewport. And I don't know if that would be a widget. It's not gonna be a button, but at least we can get the button working. Let's press play. I do not see a button. No parent, so I have an error. No parent widget path supplied. Let's go look at the sample again. So let's stop this and press save and go back into the sample and see what they used for the widget path. Instead of buttons, can you create non-interactive text? Basically a way to provide text directions to the user. Yeah, you could do that using the draw screen space. So if you don't want it to be interactive, like these things are not interactive, and that is using that draw screen space text, and you can have it. And so instead of doing like an on tick, you can do it an on stage event. So it only happens when they press play, and then it goes away when they press pause or stop. Actually, it's like this one, on stage event, and then this one happens when it stops. Oh, set viewport mode. That's what I forgot to do. So OmniGraph stop, it does this. It sets the viewport back to default. On play, it sets the viewport to scripted. And then it uses all this. Okay. Or you could do on stage event, and then it would just like happen when they press play, and then it doesn't go away when they press stop because it's already happened. It's an event. So I need to set the viewport mode. I have my placer. I have my stack and I have my button, but I'm probably not going to use a button in the long term, but at least for now. So set viewport mode is what I'm missing. And then the placer, they don't have a parent widget path, but they don't have that for the stack either. And they don't have it for the button. Wait, maybe if I press play, it changes it. But that's probably because the set viewport mode is scripted. So it's grabbing this information automatically. No one's setting it. Okay, so I probably just need to do the set viewport mode. Whoops, I moved that whole backdrop. Oopsies. Oh no, my backdrop grabbed all the other backdrops. That's the cool thing about the backdrop, like it collects all of them. Like in the Unreal Engine one. Is there a called backdrop? I don't remember. Okay. How much time do I left? 10 minutes. Nice. Last time I almost went over and then like whoever moderates came in was like, Ashley, get off. Because they had their stream at 2 o'clock. There's no stream after me, so if I accidentally go a little past, I will not get in trouble. Back to my action graph. Back to my viewport UI. Where'd you go? At the bottom. Okay, so I'm missing the set viewport. Ooh. Set viewport mode. Disconnect. One day, hopefully, there will be a feature where you can just like, when you drop it in between the little noodles, it will just add it. One day, I can dream. Scripted. Now press play. No button. Why? Maybe I have to set the size. That's probably why. It doesn't. Style, text, test. Do I have to do like a cascading style sheet style? Is that what it wants? Right widget style. I can just do that directly in the button. Where are you? Are your older personal Learn With Me ones available? Yes, that's a good question. I'm going to figure out how we can get them uploaded. I have them all saved, but they're on my twitch.tv/ash.pie. That's where you can find the ones that I've done before last week. And then hopefully we can figure out how we can get them all uploaded, because they're basically, especially since the beginning of January, that's when I've been working on this one specifically. All right, button, where are you? Set viewport mode, scripted, enable picking. That's what they had on there. Let's pause and restart. No. It didn't grab the path. So like, see how it's not like populating like the sample had it? I wonder why. I feel like I had it the same. Button. And there's also no parent widget path. Is there like a, let's type in like path. And maybe go into the widget. Oops, I spelled widget wrong. Widget. How can we call it a widget? I'm sure someone does. Write widget style, read widget property, on widget clicked, value changed. They didn't have any of these, so I don't know why I would need them. I'm gonna pause this one again. Let's go back to the sample. Save. Probably be easier if I just had like a second instance of like create or Isaac Sim open, just had like the light bulb sample open on another screen. Next time I'll do that. Open graph. Okay, look at it again. On stage event, yes. Set viewport mode, scripted, enable picking, viewport is viewport, placer, it has a widget identifier as light placer. Is that somewhere on here? I don't see anything called light placer. Oopsies. Oh. Okay, I don't know. So it's not like an XForm or anything. It's just the identifier. Oh, maybe I need to look at the position of my placer. I'm gonna copy their style. I like that style. Let me copy. Light toggle is the text. And it is the light switch. All right, so maybe I don't have a placer position. Reload. Probably the identifier is important. Perhaps. So just go through, start play, yes. Set viewport mode, yep. Placer, I don't remember what theirs were, but we'll do like 20 and 5. I'll call this one, I don't know. This is the widget placer. And this is the stack. This one I'm gonna copy that style and call this the button. Where are you, button? It's gotta be this parent widget path. The absolute path to the parent widget. Where is it getting that though? The viewport is my viewport. Enable viewport mouse events? No. They had that other on stage event where it was when you stop play. And then it was like set viewport. Set viewport mode, and it was back to default. No button. What if I do, I don't know, let's just like create like an XForm for it or something. I really don't know why. What would the path be? I don't know. Does it have to be this? I really don't understand what it automatically populated for the sample. I'm confused. I wish this would tell us. Let's go back. Let's type in set viewport mode. Oh man, I'm running out of time. When the viewport enters scripted mode, a container widget is created which other UI may be parented. This attribute provides the absolute path to the widget, which can be used as parent widget path inputs to various UI nodes such as buttons. When the viewport exits scripted mode, the container widget and all the UI within it will be destroyed. So that's where it's getting the path, but I'm not sure why it's not grabbing set viewport mode. So this is, I gotta get rid of that. I don't want it to mess anything up. It's grabbing the parent widget path from this mode. Here's the widget path, and this is what it outputs. But it is not, it's not putting that, it's not populating that into my parent widget path. See? It's not populating it. Oh God, look. I think I figured it out. It has a default mode and a scripted mode. Is that it? No. Now I have errors. No parent widget path supplied. Do I plug this in? Do I plug this in? Do I plug this in? Nothing popped up. Oh, here it is. Oh my God. You can, it's so small. It is so small. There it is though. I did it. I got it. It's just extremely tiny. You can barely see it, but it's there. Hold on. How do I make it bigger? That's the button. It's not, I want it to be like really big. Let's try like 100. I did it. I did it though. I did it. I didn't adjust anything. Breaking Omniverse with Ashley, yes. I don't know why this says it's broken, but okay. I did it. It's just I can't get it to be bigger. What if we just do like test? I think I have to just say stop it and then start it again. There we go. It's a much bigger button. You can see it now. That's cool. I mean, it doesn't do anything because I don't have it set to do anything, but hey, I got it. Cool. Just in time. It's 2:02. All right, guys. I will be on Wednesday, and hopefully I'll have a solution for you on the camera constraint that I tried to recreate from Alberto's ActionGraph, and we'll start connecting these viewport UIs to actually maybe read a behavior script or something along those lines. And then just so y'all know, next week I'm taking a break because it's President's Day for the United States on Monday, and then I will not be streaming as well on Wednesday to give myself a little bit of a break because I got stuff for GTC I gotta do. So I'll see you all on Wednesday. Thank you for watching and thank you for helping me. Y'all are so good and so easy to work with, and no one shames me for breaking things. So thanks again and see you Wednesday.